still love that theme tune every time, Morgan.
I
Welcome
do.
to this. Yeah, it's brilliant. Welcome to this special outdoor episode of Beyond the South Stands. Off script with me, Jez Davies, and my illustrious co-host Morgan Hewitt.
Hello,
How are you,
everyone.
Morgan?
You know what? I'm sweating a lot in this stuffy little office room, and so I
Get
can
yourself
see.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, get yourself outside. I'm just going to point myself this way to hide the washing behind me. But yeah, this is glorious Hertfordshire as we speak. So yeah,
I just want
it's all
to
good.
comment on those great patio doors that I'm very jealous of, and I think I bought them up in the past, haven't I?
You have, yeah, you have. It's it's an absolute pleasure in the summer when you can just whack them open and the inside becomes the outside and the outside becomes the inside. I think that's something that David Attenborough would come up with. Morgan, I think we need to introduce our guest, who is a mad, as we can see, Liverpool fan. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good. How are we doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for coming on and talk to us about about a few things actually. But I guess place to start would be your Premier League win this season with Liverpool. Perhaps just tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, it's just kind of wild. I think because it was so unexpected. Like no one had Liverpool winning the league. Like not Liverpool fans, none of the pundits had Liverpool winning. Obviously, with the manager change, transitional kind of period, and then we went and won the league, and just absolutely wild. I think that's kind of what made it extra special. I know, very fortunate being a Liverpool fan, I got to see us win a Premier League moderately recently, but that was behind closed doors, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. It was. I watched it on a tablet. It was Man City lost to Chelsea. That's how Liverpool won the league, and then it was just not the same thing. So to see Liverpool kind of win it unexpectedly, winning it 5-1 at home to Spurs, it was a joy. I felt very privileged to be a Liverpool fan.
Just for the audience at home, Jez, Adam and myself go back. I'm 40 now, so
I'm 42. Don't worry.
we worked together in a popular shoe outfit in Norwich. So, Adam, what I want to know is explain who you are, what you do, why did you end up, why Liverpool, and obviously you've got a soft spot for Norwich, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm quite well versed in explaining why I'm a Liverpool fan, because I always feel like I do need to explain it, especially living in Norwich as I do at the moment, knowing so many Norwich fans. And generally speaking, if you're a Norwich fan, it's because you're either local or you have a strong local connection to Norwich. For me, I'm a Liverpool fan, partly because my granddad is a Liverpool fan. He's no longer with us, but he was from Liverpool. I always used to say he was born a stone's throw from the Melwood training ground in West Derby, which is the same area where Trent Alexander-Arnold was born. I don't want to talk about that anymore because, I don't want to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. But my granddad's from Liverpool. My dad was a Liverpool fan because of my granddad. They went to games together. They went to the 86 Cup final together. And it was obviously a very important part of their lives. For me, though, my dad was actually in the military. So we moved around a lot when I was younger. And when I first started getting into football, I was living in Germany. So my choices were a German team. We were on the Dutch border as well. So there were some Dutch teams that weren't that far away. Or Liverpool. I do actually think there might be an alternate universe where we'd move back to Norfolk by the time I got into football or started to get into football. And I was a Norwich fan, because I do think that connection is really important. And it's why Norwich are my second team, because I moved to Norwich, went to uni here, really built up a love of the city, and the club are a good club. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're completely unique being yellow and green, because I think there's Nantes in France where yell and green and a few other teams, but not many teams do.
Yeah.
And it's nice. I like that.
We did a Christmas special called the Canary Club. And the plan is to actually go and visit Hitchin, Carnarvon Town, Nantes, Fenerbahce, Medina in Italy. And there's a few others sprinkling, isn't there, Jez? So it's so
There
good
is,
that you
yeah.
mentioned that because there's actually something we've got in the pipeline, and I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, there's important to have those kind of connections with other clubs, I think, and it's really nice when you notice these things. But yeah, that's why I support Liverpool, because of my granddad, and he was my hero. And my dad supported them because my nan's from Norfolk, so that's where the connection comes in. But
Yeah.
like I said, around so much when I was younger, and you know, I'm quite fond of Borussia Dortmund. They were probably the closest team to me, aside from Düsseldorf, I think, were the closest team, but the closest team. But I wasn't going to support a German team, so yeah, I feel very lucky to be a Liverpool fan. So yeah,
to have that connection, because I remember when we worked together and cast our minds back, I remember you used to come in wearing all kinds of like retro shirts, and at the time I think you had, did you have the Norwich Foster's Lager one?
no. So I think the one you might be thinking of, I tried to dig it out. So I've dug a few out with me here. I couldn't find it. Somewhere I've got the Adidas home shirt from 1981. It's the sponsorless version from the first season, because I think the next two seasons it then went to Paul Withy.
Right. Yeah. Yes, that's
and I've got the unsponsored version, so from the 1981 season. But yeah, made by Adidas. It's a little bit snug now. It's a small men's, an 80s small men's. So we're talking like extra small. So it's a little bit snug, but it's a lovely shirt and one of my favorite ones I actually own.
Yeah, I remember you used to wear it. You used to wear that. So I mean, do you reckon you could fit into it now?
Just about, but I am about 2 stone heavier. So it was a maybe not.
Time has flown. So I guess yeah, like I think just going back to Jez's original question about the league, I genuinely as well. I thought. I mean, I don't know who Slot was from Adam. No pun intended. And I was like, well, surely you're probably just gonna maybe finish in the top 4, and you've gone on to win the league a canter. Can you sort of, I mean, why? How? Why? What went right?
Well, I think a number of things, and I think without doing Liverpool a disservice, I think one thing that did go right was Man City's drop off, because they have been the team to beat for so long. And they're an incredible team. They've been so consistent. I mean, was it 5 they were going for, wasn't it? It would have been, if they'd have won last year, they would have been 5 in a row, which is unheard of in the Premier League era. So I think that affected it. And yeah, I don't know if, I don't want to do Arsenal a disservice, but I don't know if they saw Man City's drop off and that made them panic a little bit, because the pressure was on Arsenal, having finished second the previous 2 years. Again, no one was expecting it from Liverpool. As good a team as Liverpool are, and the previous season we finished 3rd, but we dropped off quite a little bit with 10 games to go. We weren't playing particularly good football in Klopp's last season compared to Man City and Arsenal. So yeah, I think those two teams not doing as well did make a difference. But also, Slot's clearly a good manager, and I think people were surprised by it, but he did a fantastic job where he was before at Feyenoord. Did an excellent job.
I agree, and I think we had Drew Broughton, a former Norwich player, on last year, and he talked about the freedom that Arne Slot allowed his team to play with, and I think a lot of that is a manager with a philosophy that other Premier League managers aren't used to, from not an unfancy team in Holland, but perhaps a little bit of an unknown quantity, and I think that played a part. But I think you're certainly right. I think the drop off of the other two teams did play a part as well. But no, I was just expecting them for Liverpool to sort of have a drop off in the Premier League. They never did. It was just a phenomenal effort. So
yeah, the only drop off really happened once Liverpool won the league, and they were clearly hungover for the rest of the season.
But then that's you can kind of expect that, can't you? Because the pressure was up. They're not the pressure was up. You know what I mean? They'd achieved what they needed to achieve, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was unexpected, but yeah, I think it's a mixture of things, because the other teams did drop off, but again, I think Arne Slot was underestimated because he was at AZ before then, and they, if I remember correctly, they were doing really well, but then it was the COVID season, and in the Netherlands they cancelled the season, and so they came second. they may well have won the league that year, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
I know that they were doing very well anyway. So, yeah, he's clearly a very good manager. Liverpool really did their homework on him because it was actually between him and Amorim were the rumours. And I think Amorim is going to be a very good manager, but it's clearly not working out at the moment at Manchester United. So, yeah, I think it was kind of a perfect storm, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good storm. Obviously, you've got the new season beginning soon. You've got your fixtures. What are your expectations, and where do you think the challenges might be to replicate? I mean, you're going to have expectations are set now.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like last season there were no expectations, but we've won the league now. But also we've spent big, especially with like Florian Wirtz coming in. Like that's a lot of money. It's broken our transfer record for a player. It's 100 million. I think it's 116 mil, depending on appearances and what trophies we win.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've spent big. We've got other players coming in as well. Obviously, we've spent money on Kirkes as well. Yeah, I think the expectations will be to win it, but I also fully expect Manchester City to really, really come back this season. I mean, they spent a lot in January anyway. I think they're going to make some big signings. Arsenal are a good side. They are a good side as well. And you never know what else is going to happen because Chelsea have more players than anyone in the history of the universe. So they might actually end up putting it all together. Newcastle, they're a good side. They didn't start as well last season, but they finished pretty strongly as well. And obviously they've got the monkey off their back of winning that long awaited for trophy. So yeah, I think expectation wise, I'd like us to win it, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I think you're probably spot on. I mean, Chelsea had a bit of I couldn't really put my finger on Chelsea last season. And I think they're going to, if things click, they'll be there or thereabouts. I like to think that, like to think like I'm a Chelsea fan. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be an exciting one actually for the neutral. Jez, I don't know about what you think.
Yeah, I mean, again, you've got Arsenal that will want to continue their development, if you like, and hope that no one else has a storming season like Liverpool did. So, and as you guys mentioned the other teams, I think it could be very exciting. I can't imagine Man City are going to have 2 bad seasons on the trot. Who knows? So yeah, it could be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm quite looking.
I think it'll be Morgan. Sorry to interrupt. I think it'll be more exciting the other end this year as well, actually, because I think at least 2 of the promoted clubs that have come up are actually going to do some business down there as well. So I think that could be exciting as well.
So hopefully it'll be a decent season all round. Yeah. Okay, cool. Adam, I want to talk about your fandom history because I think it's really fascinating. So I remember back in the day, wasn't your handle on MySpace or something? And this is going back.
MySpace.
Yeah. The placid casual.
Yeah, it is on Instagram. Actually, so funny story that. So that handle actually comes from a Super Furry Animals song.
Right.
However, I did once get a message from someone it was back in the day, MSN Messenger. So back in the day. And it was just someone saying like, "Are you Millwall?" And I was like, "What are you on about?" And he's like, "Are you Millwall?" I was like, "No, not like I live in Norwich. What are you on about?" Basically, turned out a few people had been passed my email address and my MSN name because it was the Placid Casual, thinking that I was some kind of football casual, and then were trying to organise fights. And then when I was like living in Norwich, they're like, "Oh, you're Norwich, yeah, like, oh yeah, like we're there, like you know, later in the season." I was just like, I don't know what you're on about. Why? It's just a Super Furry Animals song. But obviously there is the whole like casual thing connected to like football and seemingly, according to MSN Messenger, football fights. So yeah, that was a weird one.
That's a great story. I mean, I think because I know like all of the 80s kind of like fashion. Some of the terrace wear is where it comes from, right? Casual.
Yeah.
You have terraces, so I know that it's not. I know it's not completely interlinked with what we're going to say, Jez. Family friend podcast hooliganism. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, of course.
So
Say what you want.
I within reason. I know that a lot of it has to do with the football fashion back then, and I remember when you were coming to work and some of the stuff you wear, your Adidas and casuals are synonymous, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and I'm still very much into like my old school Adidas. Yeah, obviously I've got an old school Adidas football shirt on today, but if you'd have seen me earlier, I would have been wearing like an Adidas trefoil t-shirt. I do like the old school Adidas stuff, and you're right, like there's a lot of like the trainers, like the Gazelles, the Sambas, things like that.
Yes.
They were very much the kind of the football casual wear, and like tracksuit tops as well. Like I've got tracksuit tops left, right, and centre. In fact, the most recent one I bought was a lovely an Adidas Beckenbauer one in dark green, purely because Jurgen Klopp was seen wearing it in some of his final interviews, and I was like, I've got to have that because it's retro Adidas, and my man Jurgen was wearing it. So yeah, it was very synonymous with fashion and kind of specifically Adidas, I think, to be honest.
I loved when we worked. So obviously we worked in the shoe shop together. What I've got to know what's your favorite? What was your favorite footwear or you've ever had? Like obviously it's probably
What What a question!
I love trainers. I love them.
I mean, I still do love my trainers. To be honest, I feel like I need to let people know just how emo you were back then as well. You were incredibly emo. I'd say I was more of an indie kid. I mean, you can see I've got no hair at all now, but I used to have like long hair. I used to straighten it. I used to wear flares and everything. Whereas you were very much kind of like the tight black t-shirts with like with emo bands on, like, I don't know, Glassjaw or something on it, weren't you?
Do you know what? I've still got some Glassjaw t-shirts, and I went to see them play in London a couple of weeks ago. So
there we go. And my favourite band, Pulp, were playing at Glastonbury, so it all comes back around, doesn't it? But to actually answer your question, I've had so many pairs of trainers. I don't know if I could say a specific one, but there was an amazing pair of Adidas tennis trainers. They were Ivan Lendl ones that I love so much that we got them in at Shoe, and I wore them so much. And then they did a reissue a couple of years later, so I bought them again because I loved them that much. Yeah. I also had a really lovely pair of like Reebok pumps as well when I was younger. That I absolutely proper basketball trainers. You know the Reebok pumps with the basketball, and you press the button and it pumps up the tongue. They were kind of white, black, and burgundy, and they were beautiful as well. So yeah, but I've had too many, Morgan.
Forrest. So my first foray into Adidas, and I had a pair of Beckenbauers, and they were so nice. And of Forest Hills, although
beautiful. They were the ones with the colourful sole, like white tops, but then just like a big solid coloured sole. Lovely.
Not very comfortable, but pretty cool looking. Jez, what about you?
I'm a fully paid sign-up member of Adidas as well, I'm afraid. I had I think they were called 4K, Adidas 4K recently. They were good, but I had a pair that were Ruben, you would have seen them. The only way I could describe them is that they had a blue ghost on the front, as that Adidas logo that you've got on there, Adam. But it looked like a ghost. They were incredible, and they were really comfy. A shame about the fact they were blue, but the trainers weren't blue. It was the logo was. But yeah, they're an incredible pair of trainers, and I've never had a bad pair of Adidas trainers. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah,
we're doing their job for them here, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
I just like because it's interlinked, and Adam sat there with a Adidas.
No, great.
What year is that?
This will be like 1989. So yeah, championship winning season. So old First Division would have been, if I remember rightly, the last one that they wore when they actually won the league. So before the Premier League ones. Oh yeah, Candy, yeah. There you go. Yeah. And obviously it's an original. You know, I don't do any of these fakes or snides or anything. They're all original.
You're going to hate me. You're going to sorry, Morgan, just before we move on. You're going to hate me because I walked into a charity shop once in Hitchin and picked up a Crown Paints 85 shirt for £4.
I mean, that is incredible. I do have the 3 85 shirts, including the extremely rare third shirt that has like some text around but I won't tell you how much I paid for that, but it was significantly more than £4.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. That was an absolute find.
I think that's a perfect segue into telling us what you get up to on the side, Adam. Nothing obviously rude, but your the shirt podcast.
So I've been on a football shirt podcast for a while. I think it's coming up to our 3rd anniversary, but I've been doing it for about a year and a half. It's called They Think Kit's All Over.
Oh,
which is
that's a good one.
That's a good name, isn't it? So so we're on all of your usual kind of streaming platforms and listening platforms. But yeah, it's just me and 3 other guys, and we chat about football shirts. We're quite mixed. So there's a Scottish Man United fan who is extremely sweary. So obviously this is a family podcast. I tried to make it, because I do the editing on our podcast, I tried to make it family friendly, but he's a very sweary Scottish man. And then there's Mike, who is an Aston Villa fan, and then AD, who is a Swindon and a Roma fan. So,
oh wow,
okay.
So yeah, but we all just love football shirts. Like, we all have massive collections. I'm up to like 500 football shirts now, which I know maybe isn't as many as someone else who you've talked to who might collect a lot of Norwich City shirts, of which I do have a few. But yeah, we all collect a lot of football shirts. We all just love football shirts for a whole load of reasons. And they think it's all over.
No, that's really good. And I mean, just obviously you touched on Roma there. What's going on the Roma badge, please?
Well, as in like the Romulus and Remus suckling at the wolf.
Yeah.
Is that, I guess it's a historical thing, but it's it's not my favorite football badge in the world, but it's all right.
It tells a story, doesn't it?
It does tell a story, and it's obviously very connected to the city. But yeah, it's a strange one.
Have you got some of the shirts with you now?
I got some Norwich shirts.
Brilliant.
So I can just grab them for you.
You can just flash your shirts. Not yourself.
Oh, hang on. I think I might have the Liverpool one, actually. No, I do. Because it's yellow.
Let's have a look.
I obviously picked up in my pile. So this is probably the rarest one I have. It was a special edition 3rd shirt from 1985.
I like the way you went, I accidentally got this one.
No, I genuinely...
That's amazing.
That's nice. That's really nice. They made the remake.
If you can see there, it's got the the League and Cup double writing around the Adidas logo.
Really good.
So that's basically my pride and joy. That one.
Nice.
Do you wear these shirts?
Oh yeah, life's for living, Morgan. Life's for living.
Sorry to interrupt, Adam. Can I guess what that shirt? I've only seen the collar.
Oh yeah, go on. Then.
Can I guess? That's the Coleman's mustard kit.
What?
There we go.
As if you got that.
Oh yeah.
So
got this one. So lovely shirt.
Actually, you're doing the next one, Morgan. That's the Norwich and Peterborough 96, 97.
You're good at this, but who's on the back?
It's Ashley Ward. Or Crook. Edie. Wow.
Everyone I love the collar. The mighty, all the kids at football practice had that with Ward on the back.
That's the Scottish tartan one.
There you go. You are good at this.
Robert Oliphant.
So this one was an absolute bargain. I think it was like £25 because my wife saw a charity shop. It was around the kind of pandemic time, so a lot of people were like, like posting stuff on Facebook, and they just shared it on there. And she just said, "Is this a good one? Do you want this one? I've got it for you." And it was extremely cheap. So love this shirt.
Amazing.
I don't know. Do Norwich fans like this one? Because obviously it's so blue, but you still like it despite the colour.
I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool shirt, but sort of bit of a backward season, that one, wasn't it? For us.
I didn't quite. Was that another shirt, Adam? I didn't quite see it. Do it again. Oh no, move it because it's in front of your name. Oh, I know what that is. That's the Coleman's mustard one with the green hash down the side.
Yeah.
So the second Bruce Oldfield one, isn't it? This one.
Yes. Yeah, that's nice.
Without a brand, I think it's made by Alexandria PLC or something. That's what the label says. But there's no branding on it, which is strange.
Did I never have one?
No,
never had one.
It's weird because the last few pony shirts that we had, I think I might be wrong here, Adam. They actually took pony off because I don't know whether the company went bust or something. I know they've come back recently, but I seem to remember there was the navy shirt with the fluorescent bits on it.
Which is I really like that shirt.
Yeah, it didn't have pony on it. I might have made that up, but
I think it did to start with, but I think they took it off, didn't they? So because it's a little bit like, remember they had the same thing with the Ribeiro shirts, didn't they?
That's right.
Where Mitre took them over and then just started sewing over the Mitre logo on the Ribeiro shirts, which was absolutely really bizarre. I've got two more. I'm going to do two at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Asics away.
There we go. It's both of the Asics ones. So
I did one. I remember you wearing that to work a few times.
Yes. So I definitely wore this one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I wore that one. This one's a newer purchase, but yeah. So there you go. I've got a couple more, but more the recent ones. And obviously that Adidas one that I just couldn't track down. It's somewhere in my wardrobe with the other 500 shirts.
Well, I love seeing that that Liverpool shirt. I mean, bringing it back to Liverpool, obviously, because this is a focus on them. Can you remember some memorable games that Norwich and Liverpool have played? Because I've got one in the bank. Jez, please don't ruin it. It's come up before, but
it's not the one where was it Jeremy Goss scored the last goal at the before the Kop was turned into an all-seater thing.
No, I did not know that. It's not that.
Yeah. The last goal at the Kop before they changed it because of the Taylor report was Jeremy Goss. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, you're right. Yeah, it's a brilliant goal. I mean, all of his goals are great. But
I mean, the man could volley a ball, couldn't he? He could volley a ball.
Volley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think for me, one of the most memorable ones is probably because I was there in the away end at Carrow Road. I managed to get tickets, and the Liverpool fans it was a 3-0 victory, but it's where Luis Suarez kind of scored from just past the halfway line.
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember this, and then the Liverpool fan ran on the pitch and made some rude gestures at the Norwich fans. Wasn't so keen on that, but it was just this incredible goal where like Suarez picks it up just past the halfway line. And I think it's Gerrard is on his left, and we're all just going past to Gerrard because he would have been clean through. And then he shoots, and we're like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, and then I mean, you must have hated Luis Suarez, to be honest.
Well,
the amount of
I still think John Ruddy has nightmares about him because I think he let in about 14 goals in about 4 games, I think, against him. It's something ridiculous like that.
There was that one game as well at Anfield where there was 4 goals for Suarez, wasn't it? And like all 4 of them were just utterly stunning.
Yeah. Gonna get that, Morgan. Go on, Morgan. That'd be his McDonald's order.
Okay. Not John Ruddy calling up and being like, "Why are you talking about Luis Suarez? Can't deal with it." Turn it off.
No, I think a couple for me. In fact, I'll let you go first, Morgan, because I don't want to ruin your one.
That 5-4 ridiculous game.
Oh, Adam Lallana.
I hate that guy. I hate him. Like, honestly, when Seb Basong scored that goal, like he's about like his only like third goal outside the box. I was like, it's a draw. I'll take it. I'll walk away. And then Adam fucking Lallana. Sorry, I swear, but you know,
yeah.
I know. Afterwards, me and my mates were in the Old Red Lion in London watching it, and we were just like, what do you do after that?
Well, if you're me, you run about my mate's front room where we could. He lives in the city centre, so we could hear the reaction. And so, yeah, we were just. He's a Spurs fan, so he wasn't that bothered about it. But I was just running about his front room, couldn't believe what. But that's what football is, isn't it? Like, it's just you can't write these things sometimes. And it was such a ridiculous game, especially because it was 3-1 to Norwich, I believe.
Yeah, well,
but then Liverpool pulled it back. And then, he did. And that was a very good goal. Probably the best thing he did for you, to be honest. Possibly. Because it was quite soon after he signed, I think, as well, wasn't it? And then obviously,
I think it was his debut. I think I'm almost certain.
Which makes sense. And obviously being like ex-Everton, you know, like clearly he was up for that game. And Yeah, and then I think Houlihan got a penalty.
That's right.
Again, trying to remember these things, but then like Liverpool got back into it, and then we're 4-3 up, and then Bassong, and then everyone's thinking, handshakes all around. We're putting a good show, but then Lallana, and it wasn't a good goal either. It was a proper scuffed finish, like hit into the ground, looped over.
Right. That's right. Yeah. I remember. John really has nightmares about Suarez. I have nightmares about Lallana.
Yeah.
I mean, my game was it was a 1-1 draw, and Grant Holt scored a bullet header.
I knew you were going to say I was in the Murderers. No, not the Murderers. It was the pub that was opposite the Murderers.
Yeah,
that isn't there anymore. Up that
I know
road
exactly. I know exactly where you mean. I can't think of what it's called either. I was in a pub in Stevenage at the old post office. I think with about 4 other Norwich fans, and as you can imagine, there wasn't many Norwich fans in a pub in Stevenage, and there's about 4 of us just in the middle of the room. As that goal went in, we all knew what was going to happen because inevitably a Grant Holt header ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah,
and we all just sort of flung, and chairs were going everywhere, and goodness knows what. But yeah, it was. I think that was probably the highlight for me.
I feel like maybe we could have been swap locations because it was me, one other Liverpool fan, and then just nothing but Norwich fans. And like I was there with like a lot of mates as well, so they all knew that we were supporting Liverpool. And when that goal went in, like honestly, we were just being bundled left, right, and centre. But if I remember correctly, like a really, really good goal. I think he just gets there ahead of Pepe Reina, I think it is, and
he does.
Like a proper bullet header and.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who put the ball in. I mean, it must have been David Fox because he could put a ball in that. But I think it was from the right, so it might not have been it. I don't know. Whoever it was,
I think it was the right. I think if I'm remembering right, it comes in from the right. I
just remember him doing it, and it just sort of nestling in the bottom of the corner of the net, and it's like the most clearest header you've ever seen in your life.
Oh yeah, it's a proper bullet header. Like he was. It's one of those ones where the cross came in and he was winning that ball. Like he was winning that ball. I think it probably meant. I think it means a lot to a lot of players to kind of like score a goal at Anfield anyway, and especially at the Kop end. But to do it like that, I think there was no way. No one was stopping him from getting that ball. I think so. Yeah,
he should have had an England call up that season, but that's probably one for another day.
It is one for another day. I remember that quite well. Is there anything else that, in terms of where do you think? I mean, I'm curious. Champions League, like, how do you think you'll fare next season?
I honestly don't know because you look at this season that they did that reworked format, and then we finished, top of the league. We're playing really well, and then things can change so quickly in football. And PSG had a bad start in the Champions League, but then became absolute world beaters and were by far the best team in the competition and deservedly won it, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
But I honestly don't know. I think. I don't know. It sounds silly because I would very much like Liverpool to win everything that they enter, but I'm also very aware that I'm incredibly spoiled. I've seen us win the Champions League. One of the best days of my life was last year at uni, finished my last exam, went to the blue part of the UEA bar and watched Liverpool beat AC Milan on penalties in 2005, 25th of May. So I've seen us do the unexpected. I've seen us do the expected when we beat Spurs in the Champions League. I honestly don't know. I'd love to see us do it again, but I'm not a Real Madrid fan. I'm not greedy. It's I don't know. I think it's very hard to call because there's a lot of obviously very, very good sides, and like I said, or like you said as well, Man City aren't going to have another bad season. I think Arsenal are still a very strong side, and I think they are getting better. And I think once they sign a genuine striker, they're going to be right up there in the Champions League as well as the Premier League. And then obviously around Europe, you've got your Barca's, your Real Madrid, your PSGs. It's I'd take a good run, I think would be my answer. I'd take a good run to the semi-finals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised you didn't win any. What am I thinking of? Like a not regional cups, FA Cup or the EFL Cup. Domestic. That's the word.
Domestic. But I mean, obviously we lost the final to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, didn't we? Which again they fully deserved. They absolutely deserved it. And again, like I want Liverpool to win everything, and I know that there's maybe some concern about the owners of Newcastle, but actually seeing their fans celebrating having not won a trophy for that long, same with Crystal Palace as well. Like you can't begrudge them. it's actually a really nice thing. I thought last season was really fun, actually, because seeing Crystal Palace and then Newcastle as well, like winning a cup for the first time. Well, I mean, in Crystal Palace's case, the first time in their history
ever. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, they hadn't won, and obviously Newcastle was like, it was either 50 or 70 years, I forget which, but it's a long old time.
Yeah.
So when we lost the Carabao Cup, it sounds silly, but I wasn't necessarily disappointed. The pressure was on to win the league from that point. Then it's like, well, we have to win the league now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you did well.
No, it's amazing. I think, yeah, it was superb. We actually had a Crystal Palace fan on a few weeks ago, Adam, who talked, very proudly and about, as you said, the fact that it was their first ever trophy, and I completely agree. And funnily enough, he talked about the time where you guys rocked up and were 3-0 up, and they drew 3-3 and called it Chris Stamble.
Yeah, Chris Stamble.
Which I'd never heard that before until he said that.
Oh, had you? Yeah. Well, it's like John Ruddy with Suarez and Morgan with Adam Lallana. Chris Stamble is the thing that gives me shivers. That was. Yeah.
I can imagine. Well, sorry to end on a bad note, because I'm going to hand over to Morgan now for the random question of the week.
So we do this thing where I come up with, usually either on the spot, and I have to admit I haven't thought of one. So either on the spot or beforehand, I come up with a random question about anything. So
okay,
Morgan's random question of the week. I have to do a chair spin. And look at Jez's authoritative stance, waiting for me to do this.
Well trained. He's well trained, Adam.
Ridiculous as it goes on. Random question of the week. So, given that you do you still work for at the library, the Forum Library?
I do. I'm a librarian.
Good man. Okay. In that vein, then, what is the best football type book that you've ever read? So, for example, this is a history of Norwich, and this has come up a few times. I really enjoyed this because it's really well written and it's fun. So, yeah, what is the best football read you've ever read?
Well, I don't want to end it on a depressing note, but the book is actually a book called A Life Too Short, and it's about the German goalkeeper Robert Enke, and he, like trigger warning, he did take his life.
Right.
But it's genuinely one of the most powerful, moving, heartbreaking, but also interesting books about like his career and how anxiety affected him, how like he became, because he played for like Barcelona and Benfica, again, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right.
Then went to Hanover, was German like national keeper, like vying for the number 1 spot. And it's incredibly touching. It is a difficult read, but it is also, because sometimes like people can be like, oh, you got like your football books and then you've got like your proper literature. Not many books have moved me like this book has. So it's a football book, but it's also just an incredibly moving piece of work. So yeah, I don't know if that's too dark to answer that question, but it's honestly, but I recommend it if you haven't read it and if you're up, it's not too much of a triggering thing. It's called A Life Too Short. It's about Robert Enke, the keeper. It's by Ronald Reng, which is Reng. And yeah, it's.
We had.
I don't want to say it's a good book, but it is a good book, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, we talked about we cover we've covered all sorts on these podcasts on the Norwich side of the podcast. Anyway, I mean, Jez mentioned earlier we spoke to earlier this year we spoke to Drew Broughton. He was a former player. Now he's like a fear coach. So he talks to players about their anxieties, like NFL, ice hockey, pro players in the Premier League. And that podcast was, what was amazing to have that conversation with someone who deals with that on a professional level. And this kind of thing with players is mental health is, for anyone, not just football players, but anyone is thoroughly important. And to talk about it is absolutely fine. So thank you for that recommendation.
The club, it'd be remiss not to mention what the work that the club have done. Norwich City have done
Oh yeah, I mean, we all know that video that they did is yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, like first time you watch it, you don't know where it's going, or you assume you know where it's going, and then the kicker kind of happens, and you're just like, yeah. I remember the first time I watched it, you'll be all the same. And I know that they've done an awful lot of work behind it, but that video in particular, just a genuine kind of like a gut punch. That one wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Jez, are you going to do your usual roundup, your pro roundup?
Well, my book is, and thanks for asking me, Morgan. It's always nice to be asked what my favourite book is. My favourite football-related book is Zlatan Ibrahimovic's autobiography.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's probably called I'm God or something like that. No, it's Zlatan.
Was it like I Am Zlatan or just something like that? Just like
something like that. It is something like that. And also a book called All Played Out. Can't remember who it's by. And it's to do with England's Italia 90 campaign.
Wow.
Very, very well written book about that. So I do recommend both of those. So it's been brilliant. Thank you so much, Adam. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. And nice to meet you, Jez, and really nice to see you again after all this time, Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be really good to perhaps catch up later in the season and have a bit of a shirt off with Billy. I think that might be a good shout.
Oh no, Billy would win. Some of his, again, I mean, I've got every Liverpool shirt from 1981 onwards, but they were all just the off-the-shelf ones. Whereas obviously Billy Pointer, it is Pointer, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, his collection of match ones and just how far it goes back, and ridiculous. Yeah, he'd wipe the floor with me.
He's class. Okay, so thanks everyone else for watching. You can follow us on all of the social media channels, and you can now watch us on YouTube as well. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Goodbye, everyone. I've been Jez Davies.
I've been Morgan Hewitt.
And I've been Adam.
That's all for this episode of Beyond the Barclay. Thanks for listening and supporting the podcast. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow, leave a review and share it with fellow Norwich City fans. We'll be back soon with more insight and discussion from around Carrow Road. Until then, on the Ball City.